Okay, you ready? We're good?
Not yet. It's still coming up. It's still.
Oh, okay.
All right. Okay, we're live on YouTube, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'd like to call us to order. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Still under the circumstances we're under, having to do the Zoom meeting, making the best of the situation. But let's go ahead and have our invocation, and then we'll get into the meeting. So join me for our invocation, please. Father, once again, we're thankful for this day. We're thankful for the opportunity to come together as concerned citizens, council members, and members of this town and community to do the business of this town. And during this last storm and storm that may come, we just those workers and linemen and crews that are out there helping to restore power, and we pray for their safety and their well-being while they're out working for the good of this town and community. And Father, we ask that all things done here tonight be with our blessings and be with your guidance and wisdom for all decisions made. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
All righty. First item, approval of the minutes from our regular meeting. Any questions, corrections from council?
Motion to approve is submitted.
Okay. Is there a second?
Yes.
Bruce seconded it.
Bruce, okay. Yeah, I couldn't hear him. All right, Tara, we'll let you do the roll call.
All right. Councilmember Warner,
Yes.
Councilmember Dennis, Councilmember Pittard, Councilmember Pittard,
Yes.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
and Councilmember Mulcahy.
Yes.
And we'll get there on.
Okay. All right, we'll move on. The list of vendors paid. Any questions, comments from council? List of vendors paid.
Motion to approve is submitted.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All right, Tara, back to you.
Councilmember Warner,
Yes.
Councilmember Dennis,
Yes.
Councilmember Pittard,
Yes.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
and Councilmember Mulcahy.
Yes.
Okay. Next item there is the approval of our financial statements for the month of January. Questions, comments from council on that?
Motion to approve is submitted.
All right, thank you, Chris. Motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, back to you, Tara.
Councilmember Warner,
Yes.
Councilmember Dennis,
Yes.
Councilmember Pittard,
Yes.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Mulcahy.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on. Usually after we have a new council member now that appointed, we usually have to make some adjustments in our committee assignments. Jeff and I talked a little bit about this, and what I would like to do and what he and I would like to do, just for some continuity in the budget, since Mike was on the budget committee, and to try to make things smooth since we're right here at the budget process, is I just thought it would be easier for me to fill that role just temporarily to get through the budget process and work with Chris on that, and Jeff and Tara. They do a ton of work anyway on that, but that's kind of what we were looking at there for the budget. And then what we'd like to do is, we talked about this, maybe put Robert to replace Mike on the utilities committee. So that would be Bruce and Robert on the utilities committee. So unless there's any questions about that, that's what we'll go ahead and make those adjustments in committees, and then we'll maybe by the next year go back and look at committee assignments again. So so if there's no questions, we'll go ahead and move forward with that. Okay. Next item, we'll move on, public comment. Jeff, anything? You got any letters? Anybody there or?
No, sir, we have, we've got, Mr. Jones with the press, but he's not, I don't think he's got anything on public comment. And so no one else is
Okay.
here. And no, I have not
Okay.
received any emails, phone calls or anything for public input.
Okay. All right, very good. All right, well, we'll move on then. Is Richard there tonight, or are you reporting on that?
I'm Richard tonight. We
Okay.
are, to kind of give you a feel, we are moving ahead with an invitation to bid on the repair and painting of the exterior of the town hall and the council chambers. That bid packet is online, or you can stop by the town hall to pick it up. It's also being advertised in the paper. We will conduct a pre-bid meeting on March 3rd after we do our required 2 runs in the newspaper, which starts tomorrow. The bid packets are due back March 11th by 3 p.m. I want to thank Richard. He helped put that together. I want to thank him a whole lot for doing that. So we're in the process of bidding that out. So ice storm, kind of give you a feeling. We, had a few power outages. Some of the areas that got infected were Virginia Avenue and Rose Hill. And I think some of that came back on Monday late morning. 15 South, Shiny Rock, Sunnyside, they came back on today after being out since Saturday. We've also, just to kind of have the impact of the ice storm, our water booster station, which is on 15 South. And what this does, this booster station shoots water to the Russell Stover, tank. Better, what we call the Burlington Drive tank now. That lengthy power outage over time, we're okay if we could go for, a day and a half, 2 days, something like that. But once it gets past that, then the levels in that tank get low. And so we ended up having to, contract Fidelity Engineering to bring in a backup, not a backup pump here, but it's a backup generator to run the pump station. And they were able to get the tank reserves back up by that afternoon. And we had the water plant work a little extra as they redid those reserves. Everything came back on today, and of course everything's back to normal in terms of power for that unit. All of our emergency backup generators engaged and worked as they needed at the plants and at the pump stations. That Kennerton pump station, we last night, we got through the ice storm, then we had that heavy rainstorm. About over an inch fell in less than an hour, and of course that overwhelmed the Kennerton pump station. Our staff got warning notices on it, and they were able to get a bypass pump in there to resolve and prevent any overflows. Of course, the Kennerton pump station is one of the pump stations that we'll deal with in the upcoming sewer improvement project, which they're going to eliminate that pump station completely to kind of get rid of this situation. 1558 pump station, which is the pump station there at the stoplight in town. It has dual pumps. They both, kicked off running at times, and it kind of wouldn't work in sync with the generator, and it ended up the town staff had to go down there and correct it and reset it, and it ended up working fine after that point. And then, of course, we want to thank the VDOT and the town staff. They dealt with several down trees in town. I know we had some over on Park Avenue near Edgewood, but VDOT was a trooper in this, and I don't think Randy Roche and his team, they really worked hard to get a lot of stuff up quick. And I want to thank those guys. I want to thank Richard and his staff for working, on and off throughout the weekend dealing with these issues. The sewer project, as you remember, the town and Southside Planning continue to work with rural development on our sewer improvement project. This is the project that will redo some work at the sewer plant and eliminate that pump station that we just talked about. As we discussed at the last meeting, the carbon room was in there also, and we've decided to remove that, and then we'll include this in the future water plant project that we'll be talking about here shortly. Now, with the cost of the sewer project is estimated at roughly 2.5 million with the minus in the carbon room. then we talked about the water plant expansion. Of course, we are seeing a water requirements increase for this new commercial project that's going to be happening at Lakeside Commerce Park. Town staff and Southside Planning is in the process of applying for a search grant from Rural Development on this. Had some conversations with them last week to be able to move forward. Right now we're concentrating on the other project to try to get that application secured and finalized for the grant loan program, and then we'll turn our attention to this PER or this to get this PER set up. The PDR reporting, what this will do is this will fund a pre-engineering report for that water plant expansion. And we will also decide what project requirements we do, and they'll do an environmental review, and they'll develop cost project projections for the project. And they will also be able to develop a funding plan. So that'll be just purely for the expansion, and that will incorporate the carbon room when that expansion takes place. Not on that yet. We are looking at probably the water expansion. If I had to take a guess, is something that's going to happen over the next 18 to 24 months. This is purely just to develop what needs to be done. Exactly. Yeah, it's good. This is what we need to do. This is how we need to do it. This is how much it's going to cost. Yeah. Oh, that I would say we'd probably have hopefully within 6 to 8 months, 12 months at the worst. Because good question though. The search grant, of course, it will allow, we have to conduct a request for proposal with the PR. So this will have to be advertised and put out there. Then we'll look at qualified engineering firms, make a selection based off our valuation criteria, and then that will be brought to the town council for award. You guys will bring a recommendation, and you'll award it to a engineering firm to do that, and then we will begin the PDR after hopefully if we get the search grant and we go through the PER process and the request for proposal, we can start that at that time. Now I'm going to turn it over to Chief Wilkerson, who's here tonight, to give you an update.
Hey, Jeff.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Jeff.
Yes, sir.
Really quick, and this could go into the police either way, but have they gotten the stoplight at 1558? Is that back operational yet?
Yes, that's correct. That came back on about midday today. That was the final piece. Yes, so it is operational.
Okay, very good. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay. Can y'all see the chief?
Yes, sir.
You're okay. You're on there. It's not showing up on the screen, but
All right. Good evening. I'm just going to give you a kind of a brief update on the body camera.
Kind of hard to hear him, Jeff, but we can see him.
Speak up, man.
A brief update on the body cameras. We've actually got most of the cameras in, and we've got them deployed to most of those. We took a small class, but we also have to take one online. They recommend do that before we actually start using them. I think I'm the only one who hadn't took that class yet. But Brent will be traveling to Christiansburg Thursday actually, to do the taser training. We're training him how to train us. And then, of course, shortly after that, he's going to go to instructor school for DCJS so he can instruct statewide. And once we get that wrapped up, all the tasers will be deployed once training is completed on that. The only thing we're completed on right now, most of the way, is the body cameras. Any questions about the body cameras or any of the equipment?
The weather will be horrible there.
Yes, I know. He said they're not going to cancel that. So I'm going to let him have my vehicle, four-wheel drive. He can go.
Snow about.
I think we're looking at ice. I've looked at some of the video that's come off of it, the body cameras, and I'll tell you, it's probably as clear as this Zoom thing. It's real well. We can actually send it straight to the Commonwealth Attorney. We don't even have to run it to a desk or anything like that. We just send it straight on off our phone. Statement though, there's a few other things coming down the pike. I'm only going to touch on them tonight. I'm not going to, until I get all of my facts on this, I'm not going to discuss it so much. But we were told after March the 1st that all law enforcement officers that are hired have to have a psychological evaluation done. I don't have the cost or anything on what's involved in that. So, and that's going to be statewide. So, and also we were told, I've been told two time periods. The first one I was told by 2025, all departments of law enforcement had to be state accredited. That's a long process. It probably takes about a year to get accredited. And I'm not sure on the cost of that because it's going to generate more paperwork and reports for the police officers to have on file. But as soon as I can get the information for you, I think Mr. Mays with DCJS is the one that handles that department. As soon as I get a chance to talk to him, get all the figures, I'll put a pack together for one of the council meetings so we can bring you up to speed on all what that's going to cost. That's all I have tonight, unless y'all got any questions or concerns.
Who will do the psychological evaluations, locally or?
I've heard no. I heard one of them told me the closest one was going to probably be Greensboro. That doesn't. I don't know if they do them on site. I'm sure they do, but I was told that's not true either. A lot of times you have to go to Greensboro and sit through the session. So this is just another thing that we have talked about it before, but I don't really see whether the psychological does that much good, but they're putting it on us where it's going to be mandatory that they have to have it, and some kind of accreditation that all departments going to have it on the state accreditation. As soon as I can talk to them and get a lot of the figures and what they're asking for out of us, then I can get back to you all about it.
Any
Okay,
more questions for the chief?
Thank you.
Thank you, chief. All right. Let me get back to the screen sharing here. Okay, unfinished business. Planners Warehouse update, AKA what will be called the Royster. Had some conversations with the developer today. We still are in the process of finalizing the closing for the project. That's estimated to be 30 to 45 days out. And they're working with the bank on that. He's finishing up his plans and his engineering and doing final permitting. Of course, he's got to do permitting through the county also. So that's elements that he's taking care of. Hoping to have a groundbreaking for late spring 2021 is his plan at this time. He wants to get going as quick as he can, but he's got to finish up this information for the permitting and for the closing of the bank. Small business recovery assistance. Things have been a little quiet. People haven't put in the applications, they're putting in haven't completed them, I should say. So we're still working to, we've approved 31 applications. There are some more in the pipeline. They haven't submitted them yet, but they're coming soon. We've committed nearly $200,000 for this project. And then the remaining funds, we still have about $321,000 left. Since this is online, I wanted to show that this is how you can, of course, it's 100% grant. It's a great opportunity for these small businesses. Here, I've got a link here so that they can go online. And I also have got Sandy Cooper's phone number at Southside Planning. She's the one you can call directly if you have questions or you just want to see, do I qualify? Is it worth me applying? And Sandy will be glad to take the time and talk to them. So I think it's very worthwhile. We've had quite a few of our local businesses take advantage of this, and I urge them keep going, because it's still money there to be had, and I think we still got some places that could benefit from this.
How many local applications?
We've had,
Of the 39?
Carol, unfortunately, I can't remember. I'd say, I'm guessing 15, something in that neighborhood. But it's, that's out of countywide. Rebuild Virginia, unfortunately, of course, the governor had put another $20 million into Rebuild Virginia. This is also to help small businesses that are being affected by COVID. They've exhausted these funds for the second time, and they're hopefully that, Congress will pass the new stimulus package, and that will trickle down and add additional funds to the Rebuild Virginia program. All right, going to the Marina building. We're continuing to work with Clarksville Marina, the Health Department, and Corps of Engineers on a revised plan for meeting those requirements, for the expansion of our former plans to be able to meet the Health Department guidelines for a marina facility. We've priced the architect and the engineer, and we're looking at the revision of those plans. I think that, one of the next steps is that we need to get the facilities committee together and get input from any of the other council and anybody else to decide what is it else that we want to put together with this facility to move forward. And then the committee will bring those back to the council for review and approval, and then we can move forward. Yeah, of course, this is a lot of you guys have seen this, but for some of you new members, I wanted you to kind of get a feel of what this building looked like. This was the original design of the building. Yeah, Carolyn, unfortunately where you're at, you can't see it very well, can you? And this is the layout. Unfortunately, this is the area, this is part of it that's got to change. We need more bathrooms in both the males and females, and more shower facilities that will need to be added. But it's also, as some of the council have brought up, it's also a grand time if it's, when we do this is something we want to do that'll last for many, many years. Of course, we need to probably enhance even more than what the requirements are, so that if down the road there's another expansion at the marina, that we'll already be in compliance. Also, I think with this design, they were looking at putting it, on the core property itself. And, of course, we have a lot down there that borders this. And I think the right move would be to move this to that lot, to our lot, so that we'd have more space to operate, potentially adding elements of commercial there down the road for, a restaurant or, something like that you would want to add along this, the ability to be able to rent out kayaks or, things like that could happen at this same location. So.
Like where you enter, as opposed to going down and around where the office building is now. So
yeah.
Town properties.
I think that's a great thing, and you'll have more level parking, and you'll be able to do more with parking nearer to the boat facilities. I've measured this off. I think this will meet. I think with core requirements, and Robert, you may know something about this, but you've got to be within so many feet of the docks. And my measurements of that so far looks like we'll be able to do that and still be able to go, middle way of the lot if we needed to, or be closer to the front too. Either one. So.
As it was before, they have been out of compliance as far as the health department is concerned for years.
Well, it's something we need to take care of. Yeah, that's something we need to take care of. And we're all in it kind of together. I don't want to say, I don't want to say they're out of compliance. We're all out of compliance, and we need to get it. We got to work as a team on this one. Any questions on that? The Chantel franchise renewal, I've had more conversations with them this week, this month, and we're still looking at, of course, the franchise renewal is for the cable TV. Of course, with them being the major players with infrastructure in the town of Clarksville, it also gives them, an upper hand, as you say, at being able to provide high-speed broadband internet. with either fiber or, you know, or gaining access through their souped up cable. We're still have a big desire to have this stuff incorporated into our annexed areas that we annexed back in 2014. They're working on some revised figures. I've had conversations with Southside Planning and a couple of other agencies that are offering potential grant money to help with this. We've got some developers of some of our existing subdivisions that are very interested in getting this fiber in there because they're seeing a major influx of demand, wanting lots to be able to build, and that is crucial for them to move forward. So we are also looking at ways for them to help also. So, you know, it may be a public-private partnership in a way you might say, along with some of this grant money to help make this happen. It's very important for us to move forward to have broadband internet throughout the whole town and easy access to get to it. I'm hoping to have Chantel here in March, maybe not come here, but maybe do a Zoom and give us an update on the plan and what we could do to move forward with the grant process. Any questions on Chantel? But I'm not ready to ask for a vote on that yet. We're still working out the details. We need to get that hammered out before we finalize that. Vaccinations, of course, town council and the staff are considered essential workers and part of the continuity of government. You know, anyway, we've surveyed our staff and council to see who would like to get a shot, and then we've kind of trying to prioritize them by age, and then take them. It's also availability, who can go when they have them. So a lot of times it happens on a Friday. I'd love to tell you we're getting everybody at one time. We're not. We're getting onesies, twosies, you know, and it may be this week or it may be next week. It's not something that we're getting, you know, everybody gets to go at one time. It's going to be, we're slowly filtering in. So I'll keep you in the loop and let you know kind of where we're at. If you have received a vaccine from a different resource, I think we've had a couple folks that have got it from other locations, and we've taken that into consideration and removed them from our list to help speed up the others, you know, in the town that are willing and want to get it. You know, once you get approved, I mean, once you get on the list, they will send you, you know, a questionnaire to fill out, and then you'll get a request to set up an appointment. And, you know, we'll be working with all you guys to get you on the list to keep you involved if you want to be involved. You know, the supply of vaccine is still very limited. And as I said, it's a, you know, it's a wait and see situation. But I'll keep you in the loop as we hear more. The Clarksville Marina sublease renewal, what this is, you know, currently we have a sublease with Clarksville Marina that expires, you know, at end of March of 2021. You know, this is based off of our major lease with the Corps. You know, we have a master lease for the area, the property down there, and then we sublease it to the marina. You know, what I'm contemplating is that we do a 1-year renewal with Clarksville Marina, and you know, this will continue to use their revised graduate rate schedule. So they, you know, their initial lease, they were paying under a graduate rate schedule. Well, this is the same way that the other marinas on the lake are doing it, and also the other way that Corps of Engineers is dealing with direct lease arrangements with other groups. So it's based off of their level of income, and then based off of that as a percentage of that level of income. The higher the income goes, the gross sales goes, the higher that percentage is as it moves forward. Of course, it had the lease had a marina building provision in it where they would help with the debt service on that building if we built one, and that's still involved in the lease. You know, of course, that was set for a particular price back in the day. This building is probably going to cost more than it did back at that point in time. So it's going to be, as we move forward, of course, building materials are not, you know, at the levels they are, they're up quite a bit. So we're going to have to take that in consideration as we move forward with project planning how we'll eventually pay and deal with the debt service on that particular facility. You know, then of course, after we deal with this 1-year lease, you know, here we are, you know, we're getting close to it, and the pandemic has not been very helpful in trying to do a long-term lease. But we have secured a 25-year, you know, lease with the Corps for the marina. The master lease has been renewed for 25 years, so we're in a good position, you know, for the rest of this year to go out and bid this out, and you know, and try to get a long-term sublease from you know, the existing people or somebody new. But you know, we're in a good position to move forward with that. We'll develop our requirements for an RFP. You know, we'll need to allow about 3 months for that to be posted and reviewed. And then, you know, at that point, we'll develop a review and evaluation criteria, and then we'll bring those back, a recommendation for you guys to review and award that RFP when we get to that point. You know, action, you know, no action. I'm not requesting any action tonight on this. We do need to have a public hearing for the 1-year lease renewal. I'd like to set that up for March 16th, which is our next normal council meeting. And then we could take action after that public hearing to move forward with that 1-year renewal. Any questions on the marina lease? All right. Yeah, of course, this year, annually, we always submit all of our applications for road closures, you know, for our town events and festivals. And I'd love to tell you, I know which ones we're going to be able to have and which ones we aren't yet, but we're going to go ahead and submit them and act like we're going to have them all. And that gives VDOT time, you know, a chance to approve them and review them. And it also saves us from having to pay fees every time that we have to do them individually. And, you know, so if we do them at the beginning of a year and we give them their whole slate, they waive all the fees. So they'll, once they approve them, then if the pandemic events, if we end up having to cancel or postpone them, they'll work with us on changing them as needed. They've been good about what they call modding them. We can move them to a different date as long as it fits into the same criteria. So keep your fingers crossed. I put that in your packet so you'd have a list of the events of what's upcoming. Proposed budget for 21-22, kind of a preliminary budget calendar. Of course, on the 16th, I'd like to you know, do a budget request, solicit input from the citizens and the local population. If they have any desires or requests or concerns about the budget, here's an opportunity they can come voice them directly to the council at a public hearing. It's not required to do it, but we've been doing it for the last 6 or 7 years to give people a chance at the beginning to make a say. First draft of the proposed budget, we're shooting for regular council meeting on May 18th, 2021. The budget committee will present that first draft for council review, and then we'll publish that for the public. Then we'll do the public input on June 3rd, which is a Thursday night, to solicit any input and feedback on the proposed budget. And then our final budget approval will be on June the 19th. Oh, that's not 2018, that's 2021. I do apologize for that, but it will be on 2021. So after reviewing the recommendations of the budget and you guys getting the feedback from the citizens, we move to approve it or amend it if you so see the need. Hold on, oh, let me see. I apologize, Bruce, I jumped out. That's the regular meeting in June. Yeah, it's on a Tuesday. It's on a Tuesday. But I will get you a hard copy for each one of you guys to have. We'll get that taken care of and get you a hard copy. That's all I've got, Mr. Mayor, unless you guys have got something for me.
Okay, anything from council?
I've got one item if you don't have one, sir. I'd like to welcome our brand new member to the town council, Robert Dennis. Robert, we appreciate you stepping up and we appreciate your commitment to the town. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, anything else?
Well, I'd like to also thank Bruce for agreeing to step up to be the vice mayor. And want to thank him for that. That's added responsibility. We appreciate your dedication to the town.
All
Mr.
right.
Mayor, that's all
Anything
I've got.
else, Drew? All righty, thanks,
Yes,
everybody.
yes. Hold on. Robert's got
Yep.
something.
Yes.
What's that?
Good folks.
That we won't know that it's supposed to expire at the end of February, unless the governor pushes it out. So, yeah. Well, we can still do them by Zoom. We can still do them by Zoom. Yeah. We've had to do that. Unfortunately, we had to do that last year, but that hopefully we'll get back to normal. I hope we'll get at least be able to have our regular meetings again and get back to normal. But I'll let you guys know the governor, if he's going to do something, he'll probably do it next week. So we'll know more then.
All righty. Anything else? All right, everybody. Thank you. We'll
Thank you
adjourn.
all. Y'all have a good
Till
Have a
night.
good one, everyone.